Imagine waking up in a small room, the light buzzing above you, your thoughts twisted into shapes that don't feel like your own. You try to remember how you got here, but your memory feels foggy, almost rewritten by someone else's hand. This isn't a nightmare. This was a real government program. A program called MK Ultra, created by the Central Intelligence Agency, the CIA. And what they did to people still echoes in the darkest corners of psychology. Today, we're stepping into the forgotten rooms, the hidden files, and the minds that were never the same again. And I need you to stay with me, because what you're about to hear is not fiction. It began in the early 1950s, during the height of the Cold War. The CIA feared that enemy nations had developed ways to control human minds, to hypnotize, erase memories, or force obedience. Instead of questioning whether such power should exist at all, they decided to create it themselves. MK Ultra wasn't a single experiment. It was a web of 149 secret sub-projects spread across hospitals, universities, prisons, safe houses, military bases, and even private homes. Scientists, doctors, and psychologists, many unaware of the full truth, were pulled into a mission to unlock the human mind like it was a machine. And the people being experimented on? Many had no idea at all. Some thought they were receiving medical treatment. Some thought they were volunteering for harmless studies. Some were simply in the wrong place at the wrong time. The main tool MK Ultra used to crack the human mind was LSD, a colorless liquid dropped into drinks, food, cigarettes, even coffee cups in office meetings. They believed LSD could erase identity, dismantle the ego, or open the mind to manipulation. So they forced it onto people: soldiers, patients in psychiatric wards, students, sex workers, addicts, prisoners, and sometimes random civilians walking into a bar. They weren't asked for consent. They weren't warned. They were simply observed like insects pinned to a board. Imagine sitting in a cafe, taking a sip of your coffee, and minutes later, the world melts and bends and swirls, and you don't know why. You think you're going insane. You think you're dying. You try to scream, but your voice sounds like it's coming from underwater. And somewhere behind a mirror, a man with a clipboard watches every second. One of the cruelest parts of MK Ultra took place in what the CIA called safe houses. They looked like small apartments. Inside, the CIA paid sex workers to lure men inside, drug them without their knowledge, and then, well, the agents watched through two-way mirrors as these broken, hallucinating men struggled to understand reality. The program was run by a man named Sidney Gottlieb, the CIA chemist who became known as the Black Sorcerer. He believed, truly believed, that the human mind could be shattered and rebuilt like a dollhouse. And the way he chased that idea is something many would call monstrous. Some of the experiments were designed to push people past the limits of sanity. Volunteers, or unwilling subjects, were placed in sensory deprivation chambers for days. Others were blasted with electroshocks far stronger than any therapeutic use. Some were hypnotized, forced to repeat disturbing phrases, or made to believe false memories. And in certain facilities, individuals were kept on LSD for over 70 days straight, watched as their minds fragmented. One prisoner cried for hours that he didn't know who he was anymore. Another begged to be released, only to be told he had to finish the trial. Some subjects never fully recovered. Their lives splintered into paranoia, hallucinations, isolation, and fear. One of the most tragic stories was that of Frank Olson, a government scientist who didn't know he had been drugged by his own colleagues. After 9 days of terror and psychological disintegration, he fell, or was pushed, from a 13th floor window. The CIA claimed it was a suicide. His family believed it wasn't. The truth is still debated, buried beneath redactions and missing documents. And that's the thing about MK Ultra. So much of it is missing, destroyed, burned, buried. When Congress finally began investigating in the 1970s, most files were already gone. Only 20,000 survived, by accident, because they were misfiled in a financial archive. Everything else? Erased, as if someone hoped the world would forget. But the stories survived, the victims survived, and the psychological lessons, if we can even call them that, revealed something chilling. The human mind is disturbingly fragile. A dose here, a suggestion there, a moment of isolation, a shift in sensory input, and identity begins to loosen. Free will becomes shaky. Memory becomes unreliable, and in the wrong environment, the wrong hands, with the wrong intentions, people can be reshaped in ways they never consented to. MK Ultra proved not just what a government was willing to do, but how quickly the boundaries of ethics dissolve when fear and power mix. And yet, inside this darkness is a truth we shouldn't ignore. If the human mind can be broken, it can also be strengthened. The fragility MK Ultra exploited also shows the importance of mental resilience, community, grounded identity, and stable environments. It teaches us that the people around us, the voices we listen to, the room we work in, the stress we carry, shape us more than we want to admit. It teaches us that your mind is powerful, but not invincible. And it warns us that, the biggest dangers often come not from the world outside, but the systems we trust too deeply. MK Ultra was officially shut down in 1973, but the damage didn't end there. People were left with scars no one could see, memories they couldn't trust, lives they couldn't rebuild, and a government that never fully apologized. Today, when we talk about manipulation, psychological control, influence, or obedience, MK Ultra stands as the darkest reminder that human minds can be twisted when ethics fall away. But it also reminds us that awareness is strength, knowledge is armor, and questioning authority, especially when it hides in secrecy, is not just important, it's essential. So, as we close this story, remember, MK Ultra wasn't about creating superhumans. It was about exploring how dangerously malleable we can be. But the real lesson is this: if destructive environments can break a person, then supportive, conscious, intentional environments can make a person stronger than they ever imagined. Your mind is vulnerable, yes, but it's also adaptable, resilient, and capable of rebuilding itself. And the more you understand the forces that shape you, the more control you reclaim. This was MK Ultra, a warning from the past, a shadow over the present, and a reminder to guard your mind, because someone, somewhere, once believed they could take it from you.
Follow the channel for more hidden truths.